Okay, so we're going to show you how the two pieces of a pillowcase sew together. Super simple. You need two pieces of fabric. You need 12 inches of the edge trim piece. So 12 inches by width of yardage. And then you need the body of the fabric is 27 inches by width of fabric. Simple enough. Okay, so the edge trim we have pressed in half. And that's our guideline. If we want to put any applique, we put the applique on the one side. Doesn't matter which side, you just pick one and we'll line that up later. So then we take the body of the pillowcase, and some fabrics have a right side directional and an upside down. So this one, it looks like most of the pigs are facing in this direction. So this would be the top where our edge trim is going to be sewn on. We're going to roll that upside down. And we're going to put our edge trim face up. Because just like sewing anything else, you're going to sew right sides together. So again, if we had any applique, it would be facing up right now, and we would pin these together. Just start at the selvage. They may or may not end up at the same when you get to the other side. Don't worry about that. So we've pinned the edge trim onto the body of the pillowcase, right sides together. And then here's where it gets fun. You're going to roll this up, and this is why people call it the burrito or the hot dog method. This is the body of the pillowcase, and you're going to roll that up inside here. Then the other edge, raw edge of the trim, you're going to bring up and pin along with the two pieces you already have. Easy enough. And then just replace those pins. Use the same ones you have. And if you need more, go right ahead, get another one. We're in good shape? Yes. So you're going to sew your 5/8 or 1/2 inch seam. Doesn't matter, either one will work. Just sew right from the top all the way down to the edge. Okay, so once we have our 1/2 inch seam sewn up, we need to get the body of the pillowcase out of the tube. So simply grab a hold of the body and keep it separate from the edge trim, and you're just pulling it gently all the way through. And now we have, if we had had our applique piece, we'd have applique along the top here, and the back side would be blank. This will be the inside of our pillowcase. So at this point we need to press this so that the seam goes straight out. And then we'll do the same thing on the other side to make sure that that seam goes all the way out, and then give this edge a nice solid press. Okay, so we have pressed the edge of the pillowcase, and we've pressed it towards the pillowcase, so we want to get that seam all the way out. We now need to get rid of the selvage piece on the edge. So we're going to line up our fabric. We're going to fold it straight down here. I'm going to use the flat edge of my grid here, and I'm going to trim off the edge. And I'm going to do the same to the other side. All right, your next step is to do a French seam. On French seams, if you don't know how to do them already, you will line up the wrong sides of the fabric together. We're going to do both sides, but we're going to start with the long side of the fabric. And we're going to drop our pins in. We're going to pin all the way down the edge. And then we're going to do one side, then we're going to do the other. The other side is done exactly the same way. I'm going to show you just the one side. So we're going to pin this edge here. So you're sewing a 1/4 inch seam with the wrong sides together. Okay, so we're going to slide this in, and we're going to press this seam just so that it's flat, so that we can flip it inside out. So give it a good hot press. There we go. Nice job. So we're going to flip it inside out. And then we're going to pin this edge, and actually we can just give it some encouragement with the iron, and we don't need to pin it. So right where we did that seam, we're going to give it a nice press. Make sure that that is all the way open. This is nice teamwork, Sarah Lynn. And then we don't need really any pins for it. So let's go ahead and give that a stitch right here. And then you're gonna do, since we did a 1/4 inch seam, we wanna do a 1/2 inch seam now, just straight down the edge. And then we're gonna do the same to the bottom half. All right. So before I do the final stitch on the bottom of the pillowcase, we've got this piece here where part of our French seam is folded over. We're just going to continue that. Here's where the stitch line is as it goes across. We're just going to keep that folded as I push it into the sewing machine. And you're going to back stitch. And then sew the rest of your seam all the way down to the edge. And this is just going to finish off that bottom seam with the French seam. All right, so the final step of the pillowcase is to flip it right side out. We are so grateful for Hoffman Fabrics for giving us these prints today. Give it a little shake, and there's your final pillowcase. There you go.